Good evening. It's as if our high street has lost its front teeth. Just one of the shocked reactions to today's news that retail giant House of Fraser plans to close almost half of its stores. Here in the West Midlands, 6 are on the closure list: Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Worcester, Telford, Leamington Spa and Shrewsbury, leaving only Cheltenham, Sutton Coldfield and Solihull under the House of Fraser banner. So what will the impact be on our high streets? Giles Latcham reports.
In Wolverhampton, it's always been Beatties. That was the name of the store when it opened in the 1880s. When House of Fraser bought it, they wisely kept the brand beloved of generations. Can it really be it's the end of the line?
My grandmother used to bring me when I was 3, and I'm 90 now. And I'm just, well, all my family, we're just devastated.
We lose jobs, jobs and security, and, it's a massive part of Wolverhampton, this is.
Getting on for 300 people work here. The City Council setting up a task force to help them.
What we talked about this morning is looking at what we can do to make sure we can find people other job opportunities in retail. And if people in retail have got transferable skills, so to look to try and find them opportunities in things like leisure as well.
House of Fraser's been a giant on Shrewsbury's high street for nearly 50 years.
The store underwent a costly refurbishment not long since, but at a meeting this morning, staff were told that this and the other Shropshire branch in Telford will likely close in the new year. About 80 people work here. There were, I'm told, a few tears.
Both facilities are large facilities. They sit very prominently within the town centres, and filling those is going to be the challenge. Retail is a challenge, we understand that, but nevertheless, it is a really sad day for our county.
I think it's sad, very sad. I mean, I don't shop online. I hate it. I'm not going to buy something that I can't feel it and feel the quality of it.
Well, it'd be sad if it's going to be left empty. What's going to take its place?
What about the knock-on effect, though, along the high street at one of the town's oldest independent retailers? They're worried.
On the high street, it's going to be a disaster because it means there'll be less people coming specifically for the big department store that Rackham's is. All that we hope is it won't affect our trade, but who knows.
Leamington Spa's branch is also slated for closure. 200 people work here. Worcester too is on the hit list. Another 150 jobs hanging in the balance. In all these towns, the retail times, they are a-changing.
All the products that I can get in there, I can buy online, so it wouldn't necessarily affect me, no.
It's quite sad. They're going to be missed on the high street, I think, but for me, I don't really shop in department stores so much these days, so it probably won't impact me that much.
Once portals of shopping pleasure, the high street giant stands diminished. These doors will likely close for good in the new year.
And Giles is outside a House of Fraser store, formerly Rackham's, in the centre of Birmingham this evening. Shockwaves around the region from this then, Giles.
Well, certainly a lot of genuine sadness, certainly among the older shoppers I spoke to today, Nick. But yes, also some shock, although you will find those who tell you that perhaps we shouldn't be so surprised. And Michael Whedon is one such. He joins us tonight. He's an independent retail analyst. And you saw some of the writing on the wall, Michael?
I think we all have for a while. There's been a sequence of things coming up at the same time. We've seen rising costs, particularly with business rates and some rents. We've seen pressure on people's ability to spend because inflation's been higher than the increase in earnings. And we've seen business moving out of town to retail parks, and we've seen it moving online. We now spend £1 in every 6 that we spend on our phones and on our tablets.
Putting Birmingham aside for a minute, how does the high street fight back? It feels like carnage. What future for towns like Shrewsbury, Worcester, Telford?
Well, first of all, the message is don't panic. Well, 50,000 shops were closed last year, 45,000 opened up. So it's not a disaster. This is not the death of the high street, but it is changing. And we're seeing more expenditure on leisure, on service, on entertainment and so forth. And what town needs to do, as they do in many places with a business improvement district, is to make themselves the best towns they can and attract us. They need to attract our custom and our interest.
A big battle. Michael, thank you for joining us this evening. Let's spare a thought, Nick, for the 1,100 people or so who we believe are employed at those stores across the Midlands earmarked for closure. They face a very uncertain future this evening.
Giles, thank you. We've actually got another warning from the High Street a little later in the programme, but let's just round off the House of Fraser story with some comments from our Facebook page. David Dixon isn't happy. What a shame. Rackham's in Birmingham is still my favourite department store, but it's at the wrong end of town. Heather Bentley's also worried. Not good news for Leamington Spa. It'll leave a gap on the main shopping street. Ashley Elliott says this will be a big blow to Telford shopping centre with that new redevelopment. The centre is half empty and this is a major blow. So thanks to all of the BBC Midlands Today Facebookers for sharing your thoughts. Feel free to add yours.